Good Thursday morning, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. And today I have August book haul. So I got quite a bit of stuff here. So this might be a little bit of a long video. So grab some popcorn and enjoy. But this is my favorite video to film. So let's get started with the books. And as always, I start off with Book of the Month. So if you don't know Book of the Month by now, I'm sure everybody does. It's a monthly subscription box that caters to readers, and they always pick out 5 of the best books of that entire month. You get to pick 3, and your first box could be $9.99, with 2 additional books being $9.99 a piece. And as you progress, you start at $14.99, with still the $9.99 add-ons. So let's get started with my Book of the Month selections. Here they are. My Book of the Month selection for August is Damnation Spring by Ash Davidson. This is a debut literary fiction book, and it follows a family of lumberjacks in the 70s, and they're trying to save the forest from land developers. Sounds pretty interesting. And it's got like a good family aesthetic, so I'm pretty interested in this one. That is Damnation Spring by Ash Davidson. And I really like this cover. Next one is Once There Were Wolves by Charlotte McConaughey. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but this is a contemporary fiction book, and this deals with like 2 sisters trying to breed wolves in Scotland or something. I think that's what the blurb is practically about, so I might read this. It's not on the thick side, so we'll see what happens. Once There Were Wolves by Charlotte McConaughey. Next one, We Were Never Here by Andrea Bartz. This one is a thriller, and this is about like 2 best friends hiking in the mountains of Chile, and they go on this hike almost every year, but one of them might hide a deadly secret. They find a dead body in their hotel room. Which one killed him? So I'm very interested in this novel, and I definitely can't wait to read it soon. We Were Never Here by Andrea Bartz. That's my Book of the Month selections. Let's get into Barnes & Noble pickups. First off, Secrets in the Dark by Darcy Coates, a black winter novel. And I'm not sure of the exact order of this, but it's not showing any other pictures on the back, so this might be the first in the series. There's like 3 other books. So I'm just going to read a little bit of a synopsis. You can't outrun the stillness. Winterbourne Hall is not safe, even as Claire and Doran scramble to secure the ancient building against ravenous hollow ones. They face something far worse. Claire's sister has made contact, but she's trapped and her oxygen is running out. Hundreds of miles separate Claire and Beth. The land between them is infested with monsters, and the roads are a maze of dead ends. Claire has to choose between making a journey she knows she might not survive, or staying safe in Winterbourne and listening as her sister slowly suffocates. At least, whatever her choice, she'll have Dorn by her side, and yet there are eyes in the dark. There are whispers in the mist. There is danger lurking in the snow, and one false step could end it all. Sounds really, really good, and I definitely can't wait to read this. Secrets in the Dark by Darcy Coates. Next up I have Purple Hibiscus by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. And I have a confession to make. I am taking a world literature class, and I have to read this. So I'm actually already on page 182. So this is just like about a family in Nigeria. So I gotta read it for class. There's Purple Hibiscus. Speaking of that, my second book is going to be The God of Small Things by Arundhati Roy. God knows if I said that right, but this is kind of like in the same vein as Purple Hibiscus, but it takes place in India, because it's also about like a family portrait. I have to read these for class, so these might just go back to like Barnes & Noble or like half-price books once I'm done with the semester. But there's two of the books I have to read for world literature. The God of Small Things. Okay, now on to some more books I do want to read. And that next book is Silence in the Shadows by Darcy Coates, and this is also a Black Winter novel, which I had no idea that I had until looking at this pile. But the Black Winter series shows Voices in the Snow, Secrets in the Dark, and Whispers in the Mist. So I'm also going to read a quick synopsis here. There's no safety in the stillness. The stark world has changed. Each passing day twists it further, pushing the surviving humans closer to the brink of extinction. But for the first time, there is hope. Clara and Dorn have set their sights on returning home to Winterbourne Hall. It's a daunting journey, but vital. Humanity needs more refuges, safe areas where food can be grown without attracting the attention of the Hollow Ones. And the old Gothic manor is their best bet. But their home is no longer a sanctuary, it's become a trap, carefully crafted for them, lying in wait for their return. By the time they realize just how dangerous Winterbourne has become, it's already too late. The fight for survival is far from over. So just reading two descriptions alone, I think this has something to do with like a nuclear winter, and there's like a ton of monsters in this world, so I'm actually pretty interested in these two. Let's give it a whirl. Silence in the Shadows. Next up is one I am like very interested in reading, but I'm not sure if I want to read it physically or go through Audible. But this is 18 in Life on Skid Row by Sebastian Bach. Of course, Sebastian Bach is the lead singer of Skid Row, which is an 80s to 90s hair metal band. Got some really, really good music here, and Skid Row is like one of my favorite rock bands. Of course, I want to read the memoir, and it's just basically about Sebastian Bach and Skid Row. 18 in Life on Skid Row. Next up is Falling by T.J. Newman. This is a new thriller about a group of people like trying to take out all the passengers on a certain plane, but who will survive? Falling by T.J. Newman. After that, is Hairpin Bridge by Taylor Adams. He is the same author of No Exit, which I do have on my shelf somewhere. Yeah, right there. I don't know if you can see it, but it's there. But this is about a sister it's about a woman who lost her sister while jumping off a hairpin bridge, which is like a bridge that has like apparent suicides throughout the years. So this sounds good. I've heard decent things about it. So I'm willing to give it a try. Hairpin Bridge by Taylor Adams. Finally, I have Billy Summers by Stephen King. Of course, this is his brand new novel, and it's a thick one. And this is about an ex-military sniper getting called back into action when, let me see what this is actually about. Billy Summers is a man in a room with a gun. He's a killer for hire and the best in the business, but he'll do the job only if the target is a truly bad guy, and now Billy wants out. First, there is one last hit. Billy is among the best snipers in the world, a decorated Iraq war vet, a Houdini when it comes to vanishing after the job is done. So what could possibly go wrong? How about everything? This spectacularly riveting novel is part war story, part love letter to small-town America and the people who live there. And it features one of the most compelling and surprising duos in King fiction, who set out to avenge the crimes of an extraordinarily evil man. Billy Summers is about love, luck, fate, and a complex hero with one last shot of redemption. He won't put this story down, and he won't forget Billy. So, after reading that synopsis, it's about just an Iraq war veteran getting called back into action. Billy Summers, Stephen King. Okay, that's everything from Barnes & Noble. I got a couple things from Amazon to show. First one, Red Rain by R.L. Stine. And this is an adult horror novel, if I'm not mistaken. And it's basically about a hurricane that ravages a town, and like people are like left dead. So sounds interesting. It's definitely on the longer side, and I want to read this really soon. Red Rain by R.L. Stine. Next up, it's like Camp Slasher by Dan Padavona. And this is just basically like a slasher at a summer camp. You know how much I love that trope in horror movies, so I definitely want to read this really, really soon. So that is Camp Slasher. Final book is, and I'm like giddy with excitement with this, Paperbacks from Hell by Grady Hendrix. The twisted history of 70s and 80s horror fiction. And this is his nonfiction about 70s and 80s horror. And I freaking love this book. I mean, it's got a ton of illustrations and just basically about everything 70s and 80s horror. So I love horror, and this is definitely proud to be part of my collection. It might actually go on display somewhere, so had to get this. It's actually pretty heavy too, my God. So really, really cool edition. Paperbacks from Hell. Okay, we have Half Price Books next. I'm going to do something different for this haul. I didn't find many books at Half Price Books, but I did find some DVDs I never had. So let's pull that up. Here we go. The book I got at Half Price Books was Beware the Snowman, book 51 in Goosebumps. This is a very rare one, and it's still at a good price online, but you can't beat like 2 books, so it's just about like an evil snowman, obviously. Beware by R.L. Stein. Jesus, can't talk. But I got some pretty decent DVDs, so let's hold them up. House of Wax, and I watched this last Thursday. I really enjoyed it, and it's just basically like a remake of the 1953 classic with Vincent Price. Basically about like a madman in a wax museum. House of Wax. Next one, Cabin in the Woods. This is a 2012 release, and seeing this for the first time, I hated it, but after watching it a couple more times, it's a hell of a ride, and it's got everything horror enthusiasts love. It's just your basic Cabin in the Woods trope, but it's a lot deeper than that. So, it's Cabin in the Woods. Straying away from the horror is Horrible Bosses 2, and this is a 2014 release, if I'm not mistaken. It's just a sequel to Horrible Bosses. Very good comedy, duology. Definitely need to rewatch this. And finally, Hostel Part 1 and 2. So, this is just basically in the same vein of Saw, but it's a lot more messed up in my opinion. It's actually very hard to watch both of these because there are some horrific torture scenes in here, and I love every minute of both of these movies. Hostel 1, Hostel Part 2. Finally, to round out this book haul / DVD haul, I have a couple books from Thrift Books. Let's pull them up. I got Truth or Dare and the Fear Street series. This is, I'm not sure what book it is in the series, but give me a second. Oh God, I don't even say what number they don't even say what number this is, but this is basically about a group of teens who go to like this ski resort and they get into a deadly game of Truth or Dare. So really, really short, and it's in very good condition, and this is my first standalone Fear Street novel, so had to pick it up. Truth or Dare. Finally, this is another book for my world literature class called One Day of Life by Manlio Argueta, and this is taking place in El Salvador, and it's about like a civil war and how to survive it. So looks like a very heavy read, and when I went to Barnes & Noble last week, they said they don't even have this in print, so I just had to get this off of Thrift Books, so I'm pretty sure it might be a pretty harrowing novel. So that is the end of this book haul, and it's quite a bit that I had this month, so very glad I got this in for you guys. So I'll see you guys in the next video. And now that I have school on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm hoping to film a little bit more here and there. So there will be more content on the channel very soon. Just look out for that. Okay guys, I'm signing off, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.